Ben Franklin once famously wrote, "Early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise." From the time we're children, we're taught that the early bird catches the worm. As a matter of fact, in an attempt to catch the proverbial worm, I even made being an early bird one of my New Year's resolutions for 2016. But is there actually a benefit to being an early bird? Are so-called night owls doomed to an existence of lower achievement just by virtue of circadian rhythms? After looking into the data, our findings were rather shocking. Parina Kanazawa's 2009 study on middle school and high school students found statistically significant data correlating IQ with what he called eveningness, or the tendency to behave like a night owl, defending the Savannah IQ interaction hypothesis that more intelligent individuals are more likely to be night owls. The theory has its origins in primitive humans. He claims thousands of years ago, physical labor necessary for survival, such as hunting and gathering, would have taken place during daytime. However, some individuals would have stayed up long past sundown by the fire, sharing stories, teaching, and pondering our existence, activities more in line with intellectual curiosity. The theory extends beyond students. In the 1999 study by Roberts and Kailonen, U.S. Air Force recruits showed strong correlations between having night owl tendencies and intelligence on two different standardized intelligence tests. Moreover, a recent study by Jawbone showed a strong correlation of about 0.45 with U.S. news rankings of colleges and time students go to bed on average. Students at more prestigious schools tended to go to bed later, on average. It's not just that night owls are more intelligent, however, but rather they have unique strengths with respect to their early bird counterparts. A study from the University of Liège in Belgium found an interesting difference with respect to intellectual stamina. When comparing early birds to night owls in aptitude tests immediately after waking, they tended to score fairly similarly. However, when they were tested again 10.5 hours after waking, night owls scored significantly higher than early birds. In other words, when allowed to wake up at their optimal time, night owls can stay focused for much longer periods of time than early birds, who tend to work in shorter bursts but burn out more quickly. Other studies have shown that night owls tend to be more creative than early birds. This effect is magnified by the fact that night owls tend to have peak creativity hours later at night. So if night owls are more intelligent and creative, attend better schools, and have better intellectual stamina, why is it that early birds get better grades, earn 5% more on average, and are rewarded by society with this elusive worm?
This can be partly attributed to the various systems in our society today. Whether work or school, most of these systems are designed to cater to early birds instead of night owls. Most schools and workplaces start at 9 a.m. or even earlier. While the 9 to 5 workday are normal routine for early birds, a night owl cannot keep up with these timings with their regular sleep cycle and therefore have to adapt. These systems are great for early birds because they're working at the time of the day when they're most productive, which is early morning. However, such rigid guidelines for work hours inhibit the abilities of night owls to perform at their best. Even if they manage to change their sleep cycles, their productivity naturally peaks in the evening hours, when they're not working. Researchers have coined the term social jet lag to describe the sleep deprivation that night owls experience in an effort to adapt to this schedule. We're losing the full potential and creativity of night owls by making them work at their least productive times during the day. We're definitely not saying that night owls are better than early birds. In fact, many studies show that early birds are happier, healthier, and are less prone to depression and addiction. They also tend to display positive social traits such as optimism and proactivity. So clearly, there are benefits to both types of individuals, and we should attempt to magnify the strengths while mitigating the weaknesses for both. We also know that chronotype or sleep pattern preference is genetic and therefore very tough to change. To fully benefit from both early birds and night owls, we need to change and build systems to be more flexible. By creating flexible work hours and places where there is no internal pressure to clock in early, we can allow for the workplace to adapt to the natural cycles of all people, rather than the other way around. Early birds can come in early and leave early, while night owls work similar numbers of hours, just at a later schedule. We don't think we should entirely reimagine the workplace, because there are various benefits to having everyone physically present at the same time, such as meetings and coordination. But it is important to allow for flexibility for both night owls and early birds. In doing so, we can fully optimize for efficiency and creativity for all the employees in a society.